Hi, Leah.
Hi.
I'm Shelby, owner of BFREE Yoga, and this is my friend and colleague, Leah, author of Power Yoga, Strength, Sweat, and Spirit. I'm taking a little bit of time today to ask you a few questions near and dear to my heart that I think our community is interested in also, before we've launched the Empowered Yoga teacher training with you. So a little bit personal and always yoga-based. Love it. Leah, what can people expect from the Empowered 200-hour Power Yoga training?
Well, the Empower training will start this fall, and what they can expect is a deep dive into their personal practice of asana, meditation, reflection, and then practical application, what it really looks like to live your yoga practice off the mat. And with that comes feeling empowered, showing up as more empowered in your life, your practice, and your teaching, and your leading, whether that's in the yoga room or just in your life as friend, as contributor to our beautiful community and beyond.
Yeah, I love that. Everything about you has always been something that has kind of like demystified this practice for me and been applicable in every aspect of being. So I know that that has happened for me, and to usher that into this training is awesome for so many people.
Yeah, for me, the teaching, it's so powerful what we do on the mat, and it's so powerful to study the roots of that within the teachings, yoga philosophy. But even more so, the teachings have to be able to resonate and bring juice into our life today.
Yeah, in real time.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise, you're like living in this conflicted place.
Right.
Of what you believe and what you want being two different things. Or
what you practice,
yeah.
And how it shows up.
And how it shows up.
So we bring them together in this training.
Cool. How would you describe your teaching style?
Well, everything I teach, I weave in intention and breath. And all of my classes are built on a heavy foundation of breath too as well. So my teaching style in classes is strong, but balanced with a lot of surrender and also celebration.
Yeah, you're fun with play. You are very strong. You've taught me a lot, and you always remember to play, celebrate.
Yeah, we gotta have fun while we're doing this.
Yeah, totally. Otherwise, it'd be really hard. Well, you have a bun in the oven.
Yes.
Numero dos. How has yoga changed or how has motherhood changed your yoga practice and teaching?
Well, kind of the first question that you're saying, well, I feel like all of my training so far has set me up to be a mother, like all my meditation and yoga training. This has been my big opportunity to really show up and serve my newest teacher now, my little one, number 2 teacher coming. But how it's changed my yoga practice is I've learned to be a lot easier on myself and really embrace what I've done on the yoga mat, and that there is no one way. No one way of doing anything. And we've just got to bring our best, show up as our best, be willing to fall and fail quite a bit, because that's where a lot of the richness and the learning happens, and it helps to direct us back on our path. So embracing doing things wrong,
yeah,
and helping me be the best that I can be now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's exactly what I was going to ask you about next. Is I was going to give an acknowledgement to your book, but not doing things one way. I'll quote you, but in your introduction, you say, "I love that there is no one way in yoga. Instead, the practice is an invitation for us each to explore and express what feels most true for each of us." So obviously that's real for you, because you just said it in an answer about how yoga and motherhood changed for you. Can you kind of speak to a little bit about how many different breakthroughs you've witnessed for people? Like, because that's what we're confronted with. We're confronted with the things that are difficult for us, and then we get to really see the light within ourselves. So how does that show up in breakthrough with people in the training?
Yeah, well, that there is no one way of doing things, and that when we lean on this beautiful 5,000-year-old lineage of yoga, there are certain pointers and pathways and roadmaps that we get to follow. So one of the things that I love about yoga is that we don't have to do it all ourselves, right? Right? When we show up and we do the practice, there's power in trusting the lineage. There's power in coming together with like-minded people who are committed to growth and who are committed to being their best selves and who are committed to looking at the parts that aren't really working either, right? And we all have our own unique circumstances. Life looks different for each of us. But at the core, we are all very similar, if not the same, right?
Yeah.
So in trainings, what I see is that when we commit to diving deeper into our studies and really expanding the sensitivity of our bodies through our practice, expanding the capacities of our heart centers, right? And then our minds, that it's a way of confronting our own perceived limitations. And when we're willing to look at where we've been holding back, right, or thinking that things needed to be one way, there's a breakthrough that's possible.
Yeah.
And it looks different for each of us, but the way of getting there can be the same when we use the wisdom of our yoga practice.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, my favorite thing is community, and everybody in this community knows that, we are here for human connection. So remember that we're not alone. We're not the first ones to go through it. We're certainly not the last, and we can usher in hope and love and remembering for everybody every day. Because that's my yoga for me a lot this past year, is just to remembering my intention again and again and again, so that the course does stay. So the roadmap is there in lighting the way.
And when something comes up, there's two I shall use to stay on my path. To be on my path.
Yeah. There's two I shall use. Well, one more thing about your book is I love your teaching tips. Letting go of perfectionism and find your edge. So for people that might not have a teaching background or are curious about it or just trying to really find their place, a new reality for them, how would you say let go of perfectionism and find your edge to anybody?
Okay, well, I used to be crippled by perfectionism, and being able to step into the role of teacher and guide in the yoga studio space has really helped me soften my own edges and embrace my messiness, right?
Yeah.
And with that, I mess up every single class. Every single class. I say something wrong, I cue something wrong, I get mixed up. It's just part of the process. And what I've realized in that, allowing myself the freedom to explore and also ground in my own power, but letting myself be playful in that process, is that it empowers others to do the same. Because as teachers, if we are sharing that there is one way, that there is a perfect way to do every pose, and that things are right or wrong, then that's the energy, that's the rigidity that we're resonating, we're sharing with others. So when we allow people to be in this process of exploration, when we guide them into exploring, right, then they can find the way that best works for them.
Yeah. I love that. And then finding their edge.
Finding your edge. Okay, so the comfort zone is a place where we can all get into, right? And we've got a lot of modern luxuries in life today, but growth happens when we allow ourselves to push up and even past our perceived limitations. Right? So when we're on the yoga mat, when we're strengthening, when we're lengthening, when we're connected with our breath, we start to get a sense that something more is possible, or another way could be. And we get curious around what else is available, rather than what's just been safe and comfortable before. So finding your edge is a way of expanding, growing, thriving, and it's essential to living an empowered life.
Yeah, it's like when those first few times that you find crow pose, and maybe you're practicing with your toes on the block. That's how a lot of us teach it here for beginning arm balancing. And you start to lift your feet up, right? And then your teachers are guiding you to just go a little more forward, and then you finally do, and you take flight. All of a sudden, the bravery that you get after that. You get to push that edge just a little bit more in all aspects, like feeling the empowered life of that moment. It lets you be a little bit braver in communication with your friends, with your loved ones. It lets you be a little bit braver with what you desire and want for your goals in life.
With your dreams,
with your dreams.
visions, yes.
Yeah.
Because when you have that muscle memory, when you have an embodied experience of thinking something wasn't possible and then actually doing it,
Yeah.
right? That gives you the energy to carry with you in all other experiences, all other circumstances.
Yeah.
It's you now.
Uh-huh.
It's not just something, an idea.
Idea.
Right.
Yeah. Strength, sweat, and spirit, because then you get to celebrate.
Yes.
So I don't know, I have a little bit of a personal testimony about this, and I've known Leah for 10 years. I've known you for 10 years. You've been a friend, a colleague, a mentor, a guide, and a teacher. Like everything that you could be in a person's life, you've been. You've showed up as a family, you've listened to my hardships, you've course corrected me when I really needed some help, and you've always celebrated my life. One of the things that you taught me, the older I get, the faster I cry. It started when I was 18, but so finding your edge and letting go of perfectionism. The other teaching tip, it's not in here right now, but what you taught me, and the words have stayed in my heart and in my mind, in the forefront of my mind to keep my attention. Get out of your own way, because those limitations of trying to be a certain way, having really high expectations, or believing that I'm not enough so firmly that I don't let myself actually shine, and then finding my edge, like getting brave, getting curious, and realizing that the only stakes that are higher are the ones that you don't take. And get out of your own way I'm a pretty good yoga teacher now, but I was terrible when I started. And you were just like, you're just thinking about yourself too much. Go be in the experience. And it was in every way. It wasn't just on the mat teaching, but that was a great way for me to learn what I was up to in the rest of my life. But then just in holding space for other people and listening and speaking and sharing, how much of me was clouded before I could actually be present with what was around me. And I feel like when I got out of my own way, it was like murky water just kind of cleared. And I was all of a sudden in a room, with the people that are actually in the room. And not these crazy emotions in my head, and old stories. So I'm beyond thrilled I'm going to teach the anatomy portion of Empowered. I'm beyond thrilled to host this at BFREE, to co-create in a program with you, and I am honored and humbled that you would come here and just share your life with us, and include us. So the more the merrier. I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for your time. If you guys have any more questions, just let us know. Shoot me, Kate, or Leah an email. All the information is under the Empowered Training page on our website. Namaste.
Namaste. Does the angle of my belly look okay?
Yeah.
Does the angle of my belly look okay?
Yeah.
I'm always like, ugh.
All the bellies are good. Okay, we're ready.
Okay. Empowered interview with Leah. Call us, take one.